Yeah, so today we have our own celebrity who's gonna share her wisdom with us, Raki. And when Raki asked me like, so what do you want me to do? And I said like, well, if you could, after 4 years of being on liquids and following this path, if you could share the wisdom that what would you tell the baby Raki, baby meaning like in the beginning of the Breatharian path? What would you tell her now, 4 years later, with the wisdom you have now? So we're gonna get all the juicy secrets how to get through all the challenges.
I'm so grateful to be here to talk to all of you guys, and congratulations for all of you to be on this journey, because it is one of the fascinating, most amazing journeys to be on. At least it's been for me. And so about 4 years ago, I was in the same position a lot of you guys are in, and I was in Australia doing my Pranic initiation. And since that time, I have not had any solid food. So Monica wanted me to come and talk to you guys about my journey. It's been the most amazing journey. And you guys might be going through or will go through probably some of the things that I've gone through. So I just wanted to share some of the things that I've gone through. Let me, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Raki Chari, and I'm also known as the Breatharian Yogini on YouTube, because I have a YouTube channel called Breatharian Yogini. I'm going to go over some of the things that happened to me my first year, not all along, but my first year, the things that happened to me, because you guys might resonate with that a little bit more. The first year, maybe those things will happen to you. So I'm going to go into that. And then I'm going to go down the 10 things, the 10 most important things that I felt that happened to me my first year. And then I'm going to go back and say, had I changed my perspective, it wouldn't have been so difficult for me. So I'm going to go and then tell you how the new Raki, the baby Raki here, as Monica calls me, the adult Raki telling the baby Raki, hey, look at it this way. And it would have been an easier ride for me. So I'm going to just go down the list of 10 things. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. So first of all, when I started, of course, you guys are probably experiencing that right now. But when I started, I lost a lot of weight. I was like 140 pounds. So I don't know, we go by the pound thing here, not the kilos, but I was 40 pounds, and I went down to 100 pounds. So I lost over 40 pounds, and I went from a size 8, this is like a US size 8, to a size 0, and even less. And then I had to go to the kids section to buy clothing because I could not fit into the regular clothing. So that's one of the things that happened to me. Some people may think that that is a good thing, but when I'm going through it, that really wasn't a good thing. And I'll tell you a little bit about that later, but that's what happened to me. And I basically went from like looking normal to just looking like I had skin and bones. And that's kind of where I went to. That's the second thing that happened to me, that I went from like a full set of hair to having clumps falling out. So I was almost like bald. I would go like this, and just clumps of hair would just keep falling out. And I just felt like I'm going to go bald now. I mean, there's no stopping. The hair just kept falling and falling and falling. And so I really felt like I was going to go bald. And I felt like I was actually balding. So, during that first year, that's not an easy thing for someone to go through. So all of these things I'm saying are not easy things. That's why I'm saying it. So number 3 thing that happened to me is that I went from having normal skin kind of to having skin that's loose and sagging. So that's something that happened to me. Number 4 thing that happened to me is I went from people thinking that I was normal to people thinking that I had cancer. And the reason why they thought I had cancer is because your body goes through a shift when you go into pranic nourishment. So you're going through a transition. And when you're going through that transition, you may not look your optimal best. And so that's why people thought, and you're also very skinny when you're going through this. So people then think that, you have cancer. So obviously that's not an easy thing to deal with either. So, number 5 thing was I went from never thinking about food, because I was like really on one of those diets where I was almost like vegan and eating maybe once a day, because I was like really doing intermittent fasting and all that stuff. So I was really health conscious and all that. So I never was really thinking about food. And then when I started on this path, I was only thinking about food. I mean, only thing on my mind day and night was food, 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 because you can't have something you're only thinking about it, right? Then I went from having so many friends everywhere. I had all kinds of friends. And then I went to having no friends. It became very lonely for me. I had very few friends, and because people didn't really understand, I really didn't really like what I was doing. They thought I had lost my mind. So, I went from having a lot of friends to being very lonely. Then I went from having a partner of 13 years to then not having a partner at all, because it didn't work out, because I was changing. So when you start changing, you start losing those other people, things in your life that doesn't resonate with the new you. So then I went from people thinking I was normal to people thinking I had lost my mind. They'd say things like, your body's eating itself, soon your organs will be eaten up, and you're killing yourself. And, you constantly get all these people saying all that kind of stuff. And so you, starting off on the pranic journey, are not completely sure of what you're doing. You're kind of on shaky grounds anyways. And then when people start saying these kinds of things to you, then it kind of like, kind of throws you off a bit, like, oh my God, am I really, is prana really there? Am I really being sustained by prana? Oh my God, is it true that my organs are being eaten? All that kind of stuff. So. And then I went from exercising, like I used to regularly exercise, go to the gym, do all that stuff. And then when I started on this pranic journey, I kind of didn't exercise at all. I started losing my own muscle mass and everything. I just stopped exercising. And why did I stop exercising? Because in my mindset, I had that, you're not eating, so how can you work out? You're not getting the nourishment, so just conserve. And in that conserving, I basically lost my muscle mass, and I just became really kind of weak looking. And I thought I was weak looking. Other people now, they look at my pictures and say, oh, you were not that bad. But at that time I was like, oh my God, I'm not, I lost my muscle mass basically, and I became skin and bones, because I was thinking that I wasn't getting nourished by prana, and in order to be prana, I'm not getting nourished by prana, so I'm basically can't exercise. Like, if I exercise, then I would even, I don't know what my thinking was, but that was my thinking. So I stopped exercising. And then number 10, I went from sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night, at times having kind of insomnia, and, getting 6 to 8 hours a night, to sleeping only 3 or 4 hours per night. So all of these things can throw anyone off on their confidence and throw their confidence out the window and get people back to eating again. Because if you get bombarded with all the stuff, then you're like, oh my God, let me grab a bag of chips and start eating, right? That's kind of your comfort food, right? Or whatever your comfort food is. Maybe it's fries, I don't know, or maybe it's pizza. But how do you deal with all these things that happens to you? And I have found that when you just change your perspective on what it is that you're going through, that changes everything. So you have a certain perspective that maybe society, everything is put down on you. But if you just change your perspective, then your life changes as well. So I'm just going to go over those 10 things again, but how I changed my perspective on it. Okay. So the first thing was losing weight. So I lost weight, but if I had just changed my perspective that I lost weight, that I was carrying the fat in my body, the fat in your body holds toxins. So I was letting go of the fat, and I was letting go of the toxins in my body that I no longer needed. So it was almost a process of letting go. If I thought about it, hey, I'm just letting go of things that are not serving me, because the fat in your body holds toxins, right? So I'm just letting go. And when you're letting go, it allows you to be lighter and more agile, so you're not carrying so much weight on you. So if I just thought about it a little bit that way, that, hey, I'm letting go of the toxins that are there. It's okay. Let it go. It would have been easier. And the hair falling out when you think you're going bald. If you change your perspective on it, by saying that hair holds memories, and then allow the old memories to go and allow the new you to come about. So allow the old to go, because it's your body's way of shedding. So you're shedding and letting go of the old, so you allow the new to come in. And I got a new haircut. Like I got a really short haircut, and I would have never gone a really, really short haircut, and it looked good. And it was like, okay, it was a different style. And eventually my hair did grow back, and but it took months for it to grow back. And it's not to say that my hair doesn't shed anymore. It goes through shedding processes still, because my body is constantly changing and evolving and all that stuff. So it's constantly changing. So that's there. From normal skin to skin loose and sagging and hanging. Like my neck was all like hanging, and my whole body, if I looked at myself in the mirror, I was just like this hanging, because I lost weight so quickly. I was just hanging. I was like, oh my God, do I have to look at myself? So it was it was like, oh my God. And those things are really perturbing when you're on this path, because you're like, oh my God, my whole everything's changing. Like I like what's happening to me. You kind of lose your sense of identity almost, because you identify with your body, and your body's changed so much, as and for me, because I didn't come from a spiritual kind of a background. I came from a very physical thing. So physical was a body, right? I identified with my body. So anyways, when all that started happening, it made, if I was saying, concern less about your looks and take an inward journey and not care so much about what people think about you, just it's an inward journey. And that's, if I had kind of thought about it that way, it would have been easier for me. But of course, I was very caught up in all that, anyways, and then the number 5 thing was I went from never thinking about food to always thinking about food. So how would I have done that? When you tell someone that you can't have something, then you're going to crave it even more. That's kind of a natural thing. You can't have it, then you want it even more. So this is where you have to be gentle with yourself. I mean, you have to be totally gentle with yourself, because if you're harsh with yourself, your body is going to have a way of rebelling and having revenge almost in a way. So you have to be so gentle with yourself that if your body is craving things, then you give yourself. And so what I did was I told myself that for 1 year, I'm going to be on liquids, and liquids all. That's all I'm going to do. Like no solid food for me. And so I would have my favorite go-to liquid. So it could be my favorite smoothie or something that I really, really kind of enjoyed having. So I would go to my favorite, like go-to liquid. So I was like, okay, I see these people eating pizza, and pizza is one of my favorites, and I really miss it. But you know what? I'm going to look the other way, and I'm going to go to that smoothie that I also enjoy having. And then I'm going to go to my smoothie. So it's a way of kind of satisfying that child in me that wants it, and also to be gentle with yourself, because it could be difficult. Yeah. And I told myself it's a year. After a year, you do whatever you want. I didn't say it's forever. If I had told myself it's forever, then the child in me would have said, no way, no how. We're not going to do this forever, right? So I said 1 year and 1 year only. And so let's just stick it out. And that's what I did. Oh, another thing I did, if that favorite food thing didn't work for me, my favorite smoothie didn't work for me, and I really, 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 really still wanted that pizza, what I did. Some of you guys probably watched on my YouTube channel, but I would eat it and then I would spit it out. And that was my way of satisfying my mouth that really wanted it, the taste buds and all that. And my body didn't have to handle it, because it probably couldn't handle all the pizza or whatever pizza I was wanting. And then I was happy, because I was continue to be on the Pranic path. So it was a win-win for my body, for my mind, and for my taste buds. So we were all happy when I was tasting and spitting out, so if nothing worked, it was a putting in your mouth and spitting it out and letting it go and just satisfying that. So that was one of those things that I did. And I went from having so many friends to having no friends. It was so lonely. And I was like, oh, what do I do? But you know what? This allowed room for new friends to come into my life, because as I am changing, the friends that resonate with me now come into my life because I resonate with them more, right? So now I have friends that resonate with me. And, those old friends, it was nice at the time, but now I have new friends. So it's all good. So there's nothing to worry about. It all works out. The universe has your back. So I went from having a partner 13 years to not having any partner, because I changed and all that. So anyways, this allowed, since I left that partner, it allowed me to have a new partner that resonates with me and understands me and is supportive of me and all the goody good stuff. So I'm very happy. See, there's nothing to be sad about. When you let go of the old, the new comes in. Just like your hair, when you let go, you have new set of hair. So I would care a lot about what people think in the past. So people would say kind of all these things to me about, how crazy I am or whatever. But when you continue on this path, you get the ultimate freedom. And the ultimate freedom is not caring about what anybody thinks. because you're on your path, you're following your soul's journey, and whatever your soul's journey is, you're going to do it. And so you don't really care about what people think. So if I just thought of myself that I'm different and a unique person, and I'm on my soul's journey, and just embracing that basically, and just meditating on and knowing that I'm receiving prana, because in the beginning, you're kind of doubtful that you're actually living on prana. Like you feel like, oh my God, is this really happening? Oh my God, but actually believing that, yeah, no, it's happening. And once you believe it and start actually feeling the prana coming inside, then it's coming inside, and it works. It actually works. So, and the other thing was exercising. So, of course, I exercise regularly all the time. If I had just felt that I was getting the prana, getting everything, then I would exercise regularly. And actually, it's really important for those of you starting out that you have a regular exercise routine, because your body's energy, you need to get that energy moving. It's so important for your mind and your spirit and your soul to get the body moving. Getting some form of exercise is really important. And so I exercise every single day. Even today, I went to the gym. My mouth is dry and all, but I still went to the gym and I exercised. So the point being that it's important to exercise and to know that you are receiving the energy that you need to continue to exercise. Because if you don't, you're going to lose your muscle mass. If you exercise, you're going to maintain your muscle mass. So please, 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 please remember, it's important to exercise. And sleeping for 3 to 4 hours a night, it is just delightful if I sleep 3 to 4 hours a night, because that's all I need now. So you have more time in your day to do all kinds of stuff that you would like to do, because you don't need to sleep as much. Because if you don't eat as much, you don't need to sleep as much. Because when you're eating, then your body needs to process all that and all that. So you need more sleep. And, you probably have more toxins coming into your body. But if you're not eating much or taking in much, then you don't need as much sleep. So this is all a process. This whole pranic feasting, it's all a process of letting go. Because if you stay on this path, you're going to change. And if you just kind of hold on to it, it's not going to serve you. So it's kind of basically, you're going to make it more difficult on yourself. So it's just a way of just surrendering and just letting go, and just let it go, and trust that if you're on your soul's journey, that everything that the universe has your back, and it's going to all work out. So just, it's a process of surrendering. So the more you worry and you don't accept the changes, the more difficult the journey can be on you. So just kind of let go and surrender. And in the yoga traditions, they say that the key to happiness is, what do they say in yoga? What is the key to happiness? It is impermanence. What is impermanence? That nothing stays the same. Everything in your life is going to change. And the more you try to hang on to the old, the more you will suffer. So it's important to embrace, for your well-being, impermanence, because everything's going to change. So on this path, you're only going to be going through changes, and the more you embrace it, the easier it'll be. So yeah, so that's basically those 10 things. But in addition to that, I wanted to say that there are 5 things that I do to help me stay on this path, because I have found that being on this path is it's like if you want to climb Mount Everest and you are a mountaineer, you need to keep practicing to actually climb Mount Everest, right? So you need to be in the game. You need to be I did a running thing, and so I did a video on that. It's basically the runners, what they do is they time themselves, they do incline runs, they do all these things to be in the game and continue to be at their peak and being running, right? So I feel that to be on the Breatharian or the Pranic path, it is important for us also to have those kinds of regimens that continue to keep us on the path. So there are 5 things that I do that help me stay on the path. Number 1 thing is meditation and pranayama. So those 2 things, I just put it as one. So meditation and pranayama. So meditate every day. I meditate every day. I do some form of pranayama every day. So that is something that's very important for me. Exercise every day. Now, you may not have a really active exercising. When I say exercise, I mean just go out for a walk. That's just getting that energy moving. So exercise every day. Being out in nature. So go out. even just going for a walk. I mean, you don't have to like do earthing where you have to take your shoes off and walk on the grass, however, if that's not conducive to where you are, maybe the weather is not right for you to do that, just to go outside and just because there's more pranic energy, they say, outside than inside, because there's so much nature outside. So just see if you can just go outside. Even if you live in an urban area, there's still some trees and fresh air outside. So just get outside is very important. And so that was change your perspective, practice it every day. So just keep practicing how to try to change your perspective on things. If something happens, see if you can change it where it's not such a bad thing. You change your perspective on it. Kind of those 10 things I said. How can you, a bad thing happens, how can you change your perspective on this thing? It's not such a bad thing, you know? So, and number 5 I do is I keep exercising my fasting ability. What do I mean by that? I mean that I do intermittent fasting every single day, right? At least I try to. I try to do intermittent fasting every single day. So I won't have anything until like 12 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And so that's something that I do that keeps me going. Another thing I do is I do 24-hour fast once a week. So that's staying in the game, you know, okay, let's do 24-hour fasting once a week, whatever, you know, I choose my day, like Sunday to Monday or something like that. I choose it and I say, okay, I'm gonna do 24-hour fasting. And sometimes I'm traveling, I can't do it exactly on the day, so I'll do it another day, but I'm kind of really flexible that way. And then I do a 3.5-day dry fast once a month or once a quarter. If I cannot do it once a month, I'll do it once a quarter, at least once a quarter. But that's something that is really important. I wasn't always doing that. Now I realize that these 3 things, intermittent fasting, 24-hour fasting once a week, and 3.5-day dry fast at least once a quarter is really important for me to continue to progress and keep going on this path. So that's something that I feel is really important for me. So that's it. I just wanted to say for all of you guys out there that you guys are amazing, that you're fasting, and this is a good time to have a journal, because, you know, there's so many desires that we have, that this is a good time, that you're at your peak manifestation right now. So it's a good time to write down. And I take this really seriously because I did that almost 5 years ago when I started. I wrote down everything in the journal about what I wanted, like in career-wise, what I wanted family-wise, what I wanted relationship-wise, what I wanted like personal, everything. Whatever I wanted, it was my dream list. Like whatever the wildest things I wanted, I wrote it all down. And not only did I write it down, but I visualized it. Not only did I visualize it, but I said it out loud in past tense. Not in present tense, but in past tense, as if I already have it, because I'm not coming from a sense of lack. When you say it in past tense, it's like your body, you're telling your mind that you already have all of this. And then you can feel how that vibration in your body changes when you feel that you already have it, right? So this is a good time, probably tonight, where I don't know where you guys all are, but probably tonight or tomorrow morning or wherever, for you guys to write in your journal what it is in different categories, you know, maybe your personal life, your career life, you know, your love life, whatever different things that you might want to manifest, to write it down, to visualize it, and to say it out loud. And enjoy that when you're saying it out loud. So, and have it come from your heart, right? Because when you feel it in your heart, it actually goes out into the universe, because your heart is very powerful. So open your heart and say it like you already have it, because these are things you really want. So your heart will just be beaming, opening. Oh, yes, this is what I want, right? So it shouldn't be difficult. So that's what I would suggest for you guys to do. And if this is calling for you to follow your soul's desire, because the universe will conspire to help you along the way on your journey. So the universe always has your back. So for all of you guys out here, just live free without any fear, because there's so many people living in fear. So I'm just so happy to see all of you guys embarking on this journey. And together we change the universe, we change the world that we live in. So anyways, so the name of the game is slow and steady. Take baby steps, be consistent, be gentle with yourself, and be aware that these changes are a part of the journey. So all these changes that's part of the journey. So as changes happen, don't be harsh, be gentle. It's all part of the journey. And you are all amazing, beautiful souls to embark on this life-changing journey. And I wish you all the best. And I hope that what I have said has helped you in some way. And thank you so much for having me. It's been a complete honor to speak to all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, Rakip, thank you. Now we have some questions here. First, it was Alice had a question, and then Val had a question. So, Alice, would you say your question? Unmute yourself and say your question.
Yeah, of course. I was curious, when you had those cravings for like, pizza or something like that, and one of those things that is just such a comfort food, would you ever make a juice that was like similar in premise? So like a raw savory juice with like tomato and basil and nutritional yeast maybe, which will dissolve in it and stuff to try and get that same type of.
Yeah, well, you can make really thick soups, right? So you can make the tomato basil and put nutritional yeast on it, and you can have that. That's liquid.
Yeah, I just wondered whether you'd ever done like a raw juice. Like I think it was Plant Master Perry who's speaking later on, and he did like, it was literally all ingredients that would go into like a curry or something like that. But instead of actually putting them in a pot or anything, he just put them straight into his juicer. And I was like, oh my God, that's a genius idea. I never thought of that.
When you continue on this path, you become very creative on what is liquid, like, so yeah, let's just grind it up and just drink it, But I never did this, but I heard grinding up pizza and eating it is not a good idea. That's what I heard. I never because I think it's the whole like biting into it, not just drinking it. I think I don't know. Someone told me that they did it and it wasn't a good idea. So.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alice. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So now, Vala, who's next one?
Yes. I really like your that you say about let go, because usually what's happened to me to fail, then I have food, some kind of food in the fridge, and I feel my mind says to me, it's so sad that it will go bad and that I will grow up, and that's how I usually destroy my fast or whatnot. Yes, and it's really helped, like you said, like let it go, just let it go. And I like that you have a lot of energy. And my question is, 5 years ago, then you said that you wrote down all your desires. Did all of them manifest?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yes. They have all manifested, and those that have not manifested are in the process of manifesting. So yes. So it is very important, because I feel that I did all that and it all came true. I didn't worry about how it's going to come true. I just put it out there and said, okay, universe, take it from here. So it's really important.
Thank you, Val. And next one was Toby.
Hi, Toby. No, I can't hear you.
Now it's better?
Hi, Toby. Yeah.
Okay. So, first, thank you very, very much, Raki, for doing all that. I feel like it's really helpful. And my question is, when you still consume like liquids and smoothies and everything, like how do you know that you're really nourished by the prana? Can you really like feel that, or or is it because I feel like, or even when I do dry fast and after I drink again, then it's often like my mind is like, oh, you needed that, and that gives you like the energy. You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. Yes. Because I've gone through all that. Like, how do I know it's been nourished by prana? But slowly over time, what happens is whether you have it or not, it doesn't affect your energy level. It's just kind of, okay, so I feel like, oh, I just kind of had that, but that didn't really do anything for me. So you really know at that point that you're really being nourished by prana, because whatever you're having is just, sometimes it just kind of bogs you down or weighs you down, depending on how heavy, whatever you're having, right? And so, yeah, there are people that they do muscle testing to see what their pranic intake is. So I don't trust myself to do muscle testing on myself, but I know people that do muscle testing for others. So I've had a friend who did muscle testing for me. And so I mean, even before that, I take in more pranic energy than I consume. So I take in about 120% of pranic energy generally. So it's more than what I need. And so basically he says, maybe it's for me to give out to others. So here I am. Giving out to others, maybe being a service. So I don't know, but I don't find myself lacking in energy at all. Actually, at all. I don't take naps in the afternoon. I have abundant of energy, and I think I have more energy than my old self who used to eat. Because then after eating, I would be like, oh, I need an afternoon nap. Oh, I'm tired. I don't have those kinds of things any longer. So yeah. Because I guess when you're nourished by prana, you're getting like pure energy straight from source, right? So your body doesn't have to go into the process of trying to digest it and do all that. So.
Yeah, and so just one point, because you said that, how do you measure that with 120% prana coming in?
We have this muscle testing. If you look into that, I don't know what it's called, but they have this muscle testing where you do muscle. Have you heard? If you can look online, there's this muscle testing where you can stand and do testing on your body. Your body basically knows, and it's kind of talking to you and telling you. So you ask it and it responds. So I don't trust myself to do it because I feel like I'm way off all the time. So I've had other people do it for me. So
okay.
Yeah. But look up muscle testing. Yeah.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Toby.
Thank you.
The next one was Christina.
Hello. I don't really have a question other than I just wanted to say thank you very, very much. This has been incredible for me because absolutely everything you were saying is exactly where I'm at right now. So I just want to let you know, I'm so excited to see that my saggy skin, my losing my hair and losing my friends and going through all of this has been like absolutely normal. And then everything you said about the 5 things that you're doing is everything I'm doing. So if you were wondering if you were going to touch anybody today or, it's been perfect for me. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel absolutely normal after today.
Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know who I touch or I just say things that are to me. So I'm so happy that you're resonating with that. So thank you.
You are 1,000% explained exactly where I'm at. I'm 75 days into finding out that Breatharian even existed, and you are dead on to everything. So thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Dee was next.
Hi, Raki.
Hi, Dee. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
So the question, I have a couple questions. If it's such a silly question, just ignore it, okay? So I have seen a couple of your YouTube videos. You are, really craving for food and wanted to eat something. Where are you? I can't see you.
You can't see me? I can't see me either. Oh, okay. You can't see me? You're on.
There we go. Okay, yes. So I know you have been there where I am right now. So, I can really, I hope you can really resonate with me.
Yes, I can. Are you crazy?
So the question I have is, you said you were on this pranic journey, fasting and all those things. Since after that you were on just on juices, right? So what?
Well, I wouldn't say juices. I would say liquids. So it could be any
liquids. Okay, right. Yeah, that's a good one because I love spicy food. Really, I really love it, and like this drinking this apple fruit juices all the time is that's too hard for me. I need something spicy.
What about soups, lentils, sambar?
Like I like the idea of blending pizza, but it's funny. No, I'm not gonna do that.
heard it's not a good idea. I have never done it myself. I heard it's not a good idea.
No, but soup, yeah, making some spicy soup is good once in a while. Yeah.
And in
So,
the scene, they have like sambar and rasam and things like that. That's nice and spicy, you know?
yeah, like blend the veggies in there and just have it. Is that good?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, even the thought of it is,
Yeah.
really calming for me.
No, you do all of that. Just stick to liquids, then slowly you'll find that you'll go into lighter and lighter liquids. But when you're starting out, go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Make yourself nice, thick soups. That's great.
Yeah. So the question for me is, what made you go choose this path? Like, what was the real reason? Did you did you come across some of the Breatharians who is leading this wonderful life, the amazing experience they have? That's something attracted you, or the physical appearance?
That's a good question, Dee. I think if I look back at it, I was always very health conscious, and I was always thinking there's this toxins in our food, there's this GMO, and then there's this water that's like, and then there's this air that we're breathing, there's just toxins everywhere. And then I heard a talk on breatharianism, how you don't have to eat to live. And I was like, oh, really? Is that such a thing? And that just kind of, oh my God. Then I just went into overdrive. I'm like, I did all the research in the world on the internet that same day. And I was like, oh my God. And then for the whole couple of weeks, I was just engrossed in trying to find out more about this information about how can you actually live without eating? That is incredible. And if you can actually do it, then I want to do it. And so that was my thing, to want to do it. And that was purely on, just the thing that I wouldn't have to take toxins into my body, because I didn't, that I was very careful about having organic, and it was just getting so complicated. I'm like, wouldn't life be easier if you didn't eat? That
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. And then you went to took this program from some of the Breatharians directly? Because I have this fear inside me, like making that kind of decision, because where I'm coming from is totally opposite of these things. Just like you said, they are more on this physical, oh, my mom is eat more, so it's very hard for me. And also making this kind of decisions, okay, go for it, go for that retreat, and it's a different type of lifestyle. And I was like worried, oh my God, is it really good? These people are a different type of people, things like that. So what did you do? You just made that decision and go for the retreat?
Yeah, I just went for it because I didn't have, I wasn't staying in an extended family. Like, how Indian families are extended families, and you stay with your in-laws, or you stay with your, I don't know. I didn't have that setup. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. It was me and the universe, basically. I would do whatever you want to do. So that's where I came from. So I didn't really have that kind of a commitment. But I could imagine it could be very difficult if you're in that kind of environment, and people have this, oh no, eat. Because when I go visit my mom, she's the same way. She's like, oh, I made this soup for you, eat it. And I'm like, no, I don't want soups any longer, right? So she's like, she's very concerned. She's like, but you haven't eaten anything. So, that's there.
And that was the beginning? That was the beginning of your journey?
I told my mom, I didn't tell her for a year I'm going to do it. I told her to kind of ease her into it. I said, I'm going to do this for a month or two, and let's see how it goes. So she was waiting for the month or two to go by, right? And she's like, okay, now your 2 months are over. Now you can start eating. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I think I'm going to go a little longer. And so, they get used to it, and then they get used to it, and then like, okay, she's the weird one. Fine, let's leave her alone.
No, my question is, the retreat you attended, that was the beginning. Like for me, this is the first time I'm going through this Pranic feast, so this is kind of a beginning for me. Yeah, right. And then the thing I'm worried about is after the feast, I'm not worried about my energy level. I'm worried about my craving. Like I feel like, once the feast is over, I'm going to attack. Oh my God, I'm going to go to a good restaurant and eat, whatever I want. So it's not like keeping up that path, right? So that's what I'm worried about. After the retreat, were you able to control your cravings? And
yeah, I can say that for myself, that I had a pact with myself that I'll do 1 year without any solid food.
Oh,
And I know that I've been on many retreats that people don't, they go back to eating, go back to eating more than what they were doing earlier. You know what I'm saying? So different people have different ways that they've dealt with it. So my way of dealing with it was that I'm going to just have my favorite liquids and just stick to that and just hold on to that. And that was my way of going through all these cravings. And, if I wanted something sour, wanted something this, whatever I wanted, I would just make that into a soup or into a smoothie or into something that I can have. Yeah.
And there was a certain amount you consume each day, or
in the
you just eat, but in the liquid form?
Yeah, in the first 6 months, or I think not 6 months, first 6 weeks or something, I was very controlled because they had a certain guidelines and stuff. So I followed the guidelines. But after that, I was like, okay, you know what? Whatever it is that satisfies me. As long as I'm in liquids, I can do whatever I want, right? That's what I told myself, right? Because I said I'm liquid, so let me do however many liquids I want to have, So I didn't put any controls on myself then, because how many controls am I supposed to have on myself? It's like, give myself a break. Okay, fine, you're on liquids, have as many liquids as you want. So that was me being gentle with myself. So yeah.
Okay, I have one more last question. No more question after that. So the reason why I'm so attracted to this pranic lifestyle is, the people around me, like meat eaters, and they always talk about that, like go for hunting and killing. So it like really bothered me so much, and I feel like, oh my God, why I'm not able to, when I'm in between them, I don't have a topic to talk about, because this is their interested topics and that's not mine. So I feel really isolated even still. But once I get into this pranic group, there's lots of people, I can resonate with everybody. I just love it. Yes, it is hard for me to continue this fasting, but still, the way they think is similar to mine. So I'm really happy for that. But the question people are asking me, so why are you doing it? What is going to happen after that? I know like this Jasmuheen has lots of, Jasmuheen, right? Jasmuheen has lots of light being friends. Christiana, the healing power. I'm not saying I should get something. No, it's not like that. I like this lifestyle, but still I'm saying Christiana, she talk about appearing in different places, and people talk about, oh, you were in the retreat, but you were in my house last night, and things like that. So, but nobody comes and talk about this. The only thing I heard is you talking about something entering the body and, doing something in your head and things like, but nobody openly talk about this. So I would really like to know, what is the experience once you finish this and lighten up your food and, purify your body, then what happens?
Well, it's a journey. So my first year, nothing happened. My second year, probably nothing happened. It was just into my third year when you started cleaning it, because I didn't come from a spiritual background. So I wasn't into spirituality. I didn't come from that spirituality didn't bring me into this path.
But manifestations was a good one, though. I didn't know that at all until you guys talk about that,
So this path has brought me into spirituality. Spirituality didn't bring me into this path. This path has brought me into spirituality. So I'm beginning to experience a lot of these spiritual type things that I would have never experienced. And I think because I'm so connected than I was before, not that I'm like so connected, but I'm more than before. So this energy is able to, it was the weirdest experience. If you have seen my YouTube videos, the energy comes into my body and does all kinds of adjustments and shifts and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, what has just happened? And it basically, you're not your body, because this energy has come into your body and has taken over. It's like taking over the driver's seat. You're just kind of the passenger watching and seeing what's happening and what this energy is going to do to your body. So those kinds of things that started happening. The telekinesis thing is starting to happen. Those kinds of things that started happening. But that was not my first year or second year. But as you continue on this journey, for me, because I'm not from the spiritual background, for me, I'm getting into more and more of the spiritual aspect of it. So that's
like when you say I feel more connected, people say when I feel connected to the nature, to the trees. To be honest, I don't even know what they're talking about because I'm totally away from it,
I'm with you. I'm with you because I didn't understand all that stuff either. It was all mumbo jumbo for me. I was like, what the hell are these people talking about? I have no idea what they're talking
Exactly.
about. So I'm with you. But when you stay on this path, it gets you closer and closer and closer and more into that. Then now I can even understand what people are talking about when they start talking that way, you know. But I'm totally with you. I don't know what they're talking about. Most of the time, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ragi. It's really, like it's very helpful. Like the other person said, you really hit on the right spot, Like it's very, very helpful. And yesterday was the craziest day ever. You somehow, because of you guys' help, I survived. Today much better. So I'm hoping after this retreat, I'm just like you did, I'm gonna stay on liquids for a while, see how it goes. And
how it goes. Yeah. Take it.
Thank you so much, Ragi. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. So the next person was Natalia.
Myself. Hello, I cannot see Raki. Oh, yes. Thank you for sharing your experience. I've got like maybe one question, maybe two. Yes. Could you tell me, please, what type of pranayama breathing do you use, and what type of exercises do you do? Do you go only to the gym, or do you do yoga? What kind of yoga do you use? Do you use qigong? Generally, please. Thank you. How do you support yourself so as to get like more energy and to keep your body good? Healthy.
What was your first question? I forgot.
About type of pranayama breathing.
Okay, yeah. Pranayama breathing that I do is mainly I go into the abdomen breathing, doing the full yogic breathing. I think that really helps me to calm down. And that's kind of the foundation of a lot of the pranayamas. When you want to do the pranayama, is to be able to breathe deeply. Even if you do alternate nostril breathing, if you're having a shallow breath, then that's not going to be as effective as if you're having the full yogic breathing and doing it. So I think the full yogic breathing is a foundation for me for a lot of the pranayamas. So I think I just go straight. If I need to do it, I don't like if you're going to be in public and you want to do a pranayama, full yogic breathing is really easy to do. But if you want to do alternate nostril, people just, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be so kind of in people's faces, you can just do the full yoga breathing. That's what I kind of go to. And the thing that in terms of my exercise, I do all kinds of exercise. So I've gotten into running lately. So I did a 10K, a marathon. I don't know if some of you guys saw that, but I came in fourth. I was so excited because I wasn't even trying to compete, and I had no water, nothing. I just kept going. And I had no prior running experience. I always used to have problems with my knee, so I could never run. But this path kind of, I don't have problems with my knees and I can run. It was like, wow, I can actually run, so it's, so it was great. So I do all kinds of things. I go to the gym. I'm, doing this dry fasting. I've been going to the gym every day. So I do different things at the gym. I do the TRX and the weights and the exercise and yoga and Pilates and, just everything. And then also I teach yoga. So I also teach yoga. So part of that, I do meditations in my yoga class, and I do different pranayamas in my yoga class. So all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What kind of yoga? What yoga is it?
I do more of a flow, a vinyasa flow type of yoga. But I go to I'm here in London temporarily, and I joined a gym because I just wanted to go to a gym. So they have all kinds of yoga classes. They have a hatha yoga and all that. So I go to that. They have Pilates class. I do that. So I'm open to anything that kind of gets the body moving and making me feel good.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Natalia.
Thank you, Natalia. Next is Fabi.
Fabi.
I forgot to unmute myself. Hey, Raki.
Hi, Fabi.
I got a question because I'm going through my emotional crisis right now. Okay. So I'm kind of also wanting to know more about for the last years, all the years, I don't know if you spoke maybe not enough for me about emotional, maybe traumas, even things that can come up, and if you think within the first year everything was resolved, or if you feel a lot of things have actually come up more as you were on this path, and maybe how you dealt with it, kind of.
That's a very good question, Fabi. So for me, I know a lot of people that have a lot of emotional things that come up. For me, these emotional things did not come up. I don't know for what reason, but I didn't have these emotional things coming up. But I did have people in my life that I didn't get along with, close people in my life that I had a lot of issues with, and it would just like bother me, and it would just be, oh, and you know, over time, all of that kind of just went away. There'll be turmoils that come up and it would just bother me so much. But being on the path, I wouldn't erupt as much. I would be more gentle with myself. I would be gentle with the opposite person as well. It didn't happen the first year or the second year, but slowly I began to just come out of compassion. And when you come out of love and compassion for others, then what happens is you feel that they are doing the best that they can do with what this is what I did. I said that so-and-so is doing the best that they can do with what they have, and I'm doing the best that I can do with what I have, and just have compassion for everybody. So I just came out of a place of love and compassion. And when you come out of a place of love and compassion, it just seems to resolve everything. Because when someone very close to me, they would always bother me, right? Like it would just almost bring me to tears because I didn't know how to deal with this person. It was just annoying me so much, and it just bothered me, and just, oh, it just gets me all riled up. I'm like, I'm on this pranic path. Why am I getting so riled up? You know, and I would get this thing, but then slowly over time, you know, you start, as you're on this journey, you start letting go of a lot of things, and then you start these more negative emotions, the body isn't able to handle any longer. It just needs to throw it out, let it go. And the only path that I knew how to take was a path of love and compassion. So that's the only path that resonated with my body. So it was just, okay, love and compassion for this person, love and compassion, and just understand that they are at their level of whatever they're doing, and just have love and compassion for everybody, or for that particular person at that time that I was having for. And even in relationships, other relationships, it was like people would do the worst things to me, the most horrible things to me. And I was like, and my normal self would be like, cut them off, don't want to talk to them, blah, 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 you know, just like, you know. But then it was like, okay, you know what, this person is also suffering, this person's going through their own problems, whatever. So love and compassion to this person, you know. So my whole thing was just love and compassion. And yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, and that's something that is to work on, but it slowly becomes easier and easier to have compassion and love for our fellow beings, you know.
I wanted to add, I think it's definitely closer to, I think I have the similar thing as you, and it's really related to like family, my emotional thing going on.
I think families are the only people that can get us to that point of,
yeah, but it happened. No, but what's happening, I mean, I can share it here, I'm okay. Even if like some of you are here with who I've had some irritation, I could say I have never talked to my mother for years now, very long time. But there's not just that. There's also like, I felt this problem with family, you know, abandonment or things like that, you know, like the isolation thing. And it's kind of also something that's happening on this path. You also feel with the fact that you're living solid food, you also get more lonely in a way. But I also had that emotional trauma since very young, because my mom left me. And that's not the only thing. That's probably why I have really tried also always to bring people together my whole life. And now I'm doing the Pranic family, you know, no wonder. Right. And I think we might all go through things like that, of this loneliness. And then we find ourselves to say that we're not alone. But then I don't know, for me now, I'm like, okay, in the last 2 months, a lot of that has happened where I was putting myself back in the matrix. I was in ashram, you know, living really like a lone life and perfectly fine. And as I put myself back with people, it's so weird, you know, the paradox of like wanting to be one, but at the same time, like having those things. Now I'm like, I don't know. Compassion, totally. I think I agree. But maybe this last few months, I'm needing more of having a regular practice of not isolation, but being okay being alone. What do you think about that? Because it's not that bad. I think we perceive loneliness in weird ways.
Yeah, I find that as well, that I need a lot of time to myself as I'm on this path. I don't need to always be engaging with people and I enjoy time with myself. So it's nice because whatever comes up, you're with yourself, you know, and you're present with your feelings or whatever. So it's important to have time to yourself. So I think even before I would seek out wanting to be with you, hanging out, kind of taking up that void, that time with other people and stuff. And now I just enjoy just being by myself, maybe listen to music and just being by myself. So I get a lot of nourishment just being by myself.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Red.
Bobby, I don't know if I was able to answer your question, but thank you.
Oh, you did. I mean, I need that. It's great. We all need some.
Thanks, Bobby. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabi. So did Alice want to ask something more, or is just your hand raised?
Yeah, it's just a super quick one as well. It's like, what does your diet look like now? What do you like a few years on, like 4 years on? What is the typical week for you in terms of what you consume?
Yeah, so I have about 1.5 liters of water. Speaking of water, I really want water right now. But I have about 1.5 liters of water. I don't really like water, the taste of water, so I'll put maybe some lime in it or put some apple cider vinegar in it or something like that. But that's what I have. And then the rest of the time I'll have different kinds of nut milk. So it could be like not nut milk, but vegan milk. So it could be oat milk, it could be almond milk, or whatever kind of vegan milks there are. And then occasionally, if I want a fruit, I try not to have fruit juices. I mean, I don't like fruit juices. So what I do is I'll take an apple, and I did a video on that. I'll take an apple and I'll put a little bit of I'll cut the apple into pieces, put a little bit of salt on it, and then I will suck the juice out of the apple and I'll spit out the apple. So that's my way of having apple juice, or any other kind of juice. If I want orange juice, I'll do it that way. Pineapples are good to juice in your mouth. Oranges are good to juice in the mouth. The things that are good to juice is when the fiber goes to one side and the juice comes out the other side. So those are good things. So yeah, so that's basically what my diet. And I have vegan yogurts as well. So that I kind of put a little bit of salt in and I kind of mix it up and make it really goody, and then I have that. So yeah. That's my diet.
Thank you. I was just super curious. So thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Alice. Yeah, thank you.
You don't eat ice cream anymore like you used to before?
I used to crave ice cream all the time. Like, I want ice cream because I wanted these creamy things. I think the creamy things makes you feel comforted. And like when you're a baby, you have creamy things. So maybe you need some love or something. So you want the creamy things in your life. But then as you start going on this path, you're not craving creamy things. Actually, creamy things become too heavy on you. So I don't crave that anymore. Of course, if I'm going out and people are having ice cream, then it's not like I'll say, well, I don't have ice cream at all. I do have ice cream, but it's not a regular part of my diet to have ice cream.
So you're flexible with kind of like if you're in a situation and you're just like, I really want to have the experience with people. So yeah, I'm going to have that bit of ice cream, or yeah, I'm going to have that something or that.
Yeah, because I'll meet up with friends and they say, oh, why don't we, because I'm in London, I'm meeting new people here. They're like, oh, let's go for a drink. And I'm like, I don't drink. And then let's go for
Do you know what? I was only in London the other day. If I would have known you were there, I'd have been like, hey, where are you? I'm in London.
Oh, I'm in Covent Garden. I'm like right in the center here. Oh no. So yeah, I'm very flexible. If they say we'll go for a drink, I was like, I don't drink, but we can go to this coffee shop. You can get a coffee because I don't have caffeine either, and I can have nut milk that they have. So I can ask for hot oat milk or something, and they give hot oat milk. So that's what I do. So I don't deprive myself of people's company. I think it's great to be around people and stuff, but I think that to be flexible, I mean, I can have company and have a normal life. I just don't eat. And the other day there was a guy at the gym. He's like, oh, why don't we like whatever? And he goes, oh, why don't we go out for dinner? I said, oh, well, I don't eat. I just told him everything. I'm like, I don't eat. And he's like, you don't eat? And I said, yeah. Because why don't we have some go out for some alcohol, like some drinks? I said, I don't drink. I said, but we can go to this coffee shop. You can get some coffee. I don't have caffeine, but I can get their milk over there. So that's. It doesn't bother me. It's like whatever. I mean, he can think whatever he wants to think. It doesn't matter. So yeah. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you. That's so awesome. Thank you. So much love.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next is Val. Vala.
So I wanted to ask about the place where you live, because actually the place where I live bothers me a lot. I kind of hate it. I was wondering, during your breatharian path, then your vibration change, is your change where you live, like maybe country or something change, or how change the space, or you how you notice the changes in space around you.
So can I ask what kind of, do you live on the countryside? Is it the people that are bothering you, or is the space that's bothering you? What is bothering you about where you live?
Yes, the people that I live in South Carolina, they're kind of people have very conservative Bible type of mentality, and they are very, very fat. It's a lot of junk food everywhere. And they kind of always give me look like down look for no reason. Just they don't resonate with me.
What about in your family? Who's in your house?
In houses, I live with my husband and kids.
Okay, how are they?
They okay, but I don't get along with my husband's family. But they don't live with us, but I don't get along with them either. Yes, and the house also kind of, I feel kind of has not bad energy, but something around the space where I own also doesn't resonate with me. Kind of it pressures me down on, or takes energy from me, something like this.
Wow, okay. Are there parks nearby that you can kind of be in parks and being out in nature if you want to be?
Yes, the parks, some parks, very, very little parks, tiny here, but I also don't like the even, no, any nature is better than no nature, but
Yeah.
even nature doesn't resonate with me because first of all, it's a swamp area, and second, in America, they usually cut all the grass, they put a lot of cement, kind of everything look kind of a cemetery. It's not like kind of type of nature like in Costa Rica or something like,
Right.
it's very, very, everything is cut and only bushes, a little bushes and kind of like that.
Yeah. So what are you doing to kind of deal with that? Maybe have you looked into feng shui, maybe some kind of energy where you can move things around within your house? You feel like that might help? Maybe move your bed, or maybe move things around, maybe get some different kind of energy coming in. Have you looked into that?
Yes, I did it, but also I wanted to move to Costa Rica and I thought like I need to plan everything so I feel secure when I go there. And at the same time, I feel like, what if I just don't plan and just go? So I kind of between two in my mind, should I just don't plan and go, or I should just
But
plan?
you have a
and then
husband and kids. Are you planning on taking them with you or leaving them behind?
yes,
Or
yes, they want to go with me.
oh, well, great. So it doesn't seem like there's a problem then.
Yes, I just was wondering
Beautiful.
about your path. I wondering if Breatharian style kind of change your space or place, something. How do you feel it change around you?
Oh, for me, I don't think I really had an issue actually. I travel around so much, even during this path. I've been traveling and traveling and traveling. So one place doesn't resonate, then I'm off to another place. At that place, I'm off to another place. I'm always kind of out, and so I haven't really had that issue actually. So yeah. But I try to be out in nature, and nature kind of more resonates with me now. Though I'm a very urban person. I mean, I grew up in San Francisco, a very urban area. So I'm okay with urban areas as well. So I'm okay with everything.
Hey,
Oh,
sorry, I just wanted to add in this topic, because we met each other, Valentina, in Costa Rica. That's how I met Valentina. And I'm
Okay.
gonna meet you very soon, Raki, in person. But like basically, I met Tanya too, and all those people. But I think the website too, the Pranic family, like we can try to like list more communities, and also like I talked to a few people who want to host each other. For me, like the space is important, and I see Raki traveling a lot. Like the reason really we put this map on the site, and like for each of us, like it's maybe to do that too, like to help. Like there's a lot of people who want to meet like in person on this path, and they're willing to host each other. And I think we can create some small communities. We talked about that. I think this is a big problem for some people, the space. Like you're not alone. Like, but anyway, I just wanted to share that. Like, let's help each other to create some great environment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So Dee, it looks like everything's good. I mean, you can move to Costa Rica when you like. That's awesome. I mean, Val, sorry.
yes, and actually my ideal is to be like you, kind of travel from place to place. So that's what, yes, I heard from you like that. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Anything else, Val?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Val.
Raki, before you go, I have one more quick question. So
Yes.
you
you're in the wait, lady. Naida was before you. So or do you have to leave?
Sorry. No,
Okay.
no problem. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so next one was Naida now.
Hi, and
Naida.
sorry if I don't show the video, but here it's past 1 a.m. and I'm not using artificial light, so you won't see anything. And hi, Raki, thank you for all your sharings and and all the time for us. I have a question. I'm on this journey since 2010, so I went through many phases and many explorations, but not that much with being dry. And I'm not doing it for spiritual reason. I'm just doing it out of curiosity to see what are the next shift. And so far, every time I stay dry for more than a day and a half, which is the comfortable time for me, I don't see benefits except that I become more sensitive to whatever I ingest after, which is, let's say, part of the path, but it's also a challenge because I have to rewrite myself and recreate my routines. So I know that you do the 3 days and a half often. And what brings your determination into keep doing it? And what are the biggest benefit that you found into doing it?
Great question.
Because if there are no benefits, I just stay on my liquid. And also, sorry if I share, if I want to share also this, when I'm dry for more than my comfort zone, I feel like putting myself into restrictions. Like now oh no, I still have 1 day to go, but I want to get on my bike and go to the ocean and sunbathe for 2 hours and do this and do that. But because I'm not so used to it, I'm not pushing into be myself fully. And at this point, I just want to be comfortably myself. So yeah, what are the upgrades for you in this practice?
Great question, Sita. I do the 3.5 day dry because every time I do a 3.5 day dry, I see some shift or the other happening in me. So that's why I do it, because I'm like, I actually look forward to doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And now I wonder what shifts are going to happen now. I was like, what is in that box? Let's see what shifts happen, and the shifts, it's not like it happens like overnight, but it may take a week or 2 weeks to show up. And I was like, this shift happened, and so the shifts keep happening within me. And so that's what keeps me going. And then the more I do it, the less dependent I am on the liquids that I'm having. So I kind of ease up, I become lighter and lighter on my liquids. So I just feel like it's just part of my journey, because I want to eventually be able to live on water only. And that's kind of something that I kind of have put out there. So if that happens, it's great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I feel like the 3.5 day dry is kind of, kind of working my way to there. So I have kind of this goal kind of thing that I want to get to. So that's what keeps me in. And every time I do a 3.5 day dry, not a 24-hour dry, but every time I do a 3.5 day dry, I see a shift happening within me. So it's amazing that this shifts. I know when I came to Bali and I did the 7-day dry with the group over there, I came back and I was so opposed to cooking. I never cooked in my life. I had this block against cooking. I never wanted to cook. I came after that Bali trip, 7 days of dry, and you don't know what happened to me. I just went berserk. All this creative stuff started coming out. All I did was start cooking for everybody. Like I just started, and then I remember I went to like it was an ex-husband's place. It was my ex-husband's place. I went to. He's like, "What happened to you? Have you taken cooking class?" Because the whole time we were together for years, like I think for 12 years or something. And he's like, what happened to you? Because that whole time that he and I were together, I would never cook. You know, it was like never cook. And then I was like cooking this, cooking that. I'm like cooking 3 meals a day for his family and everything. And he was like, what happened to you? And I was like, I have no idea, but I'm just loving what I'm doing. I mean, I'd be cooking, or I'd be shopping for I'm cooking, or I'd be looking for different recipes. So, you know, those kinds of things, these things that are hidden and dormant within me starts coming out. So, and it's just so nice to see what else is there that's going to come out. What else is there inside of me? So the 3.5 Day Dry, it keeps that mystery going. So that's why I do it.
Thanks for sharing. It's lovely. So you seem to be a very determined being. Yeah, determination, it's very strong on your part, but it's determination that is coming out of excitement in a way.
Yeah, I'm very excited. This is like the best thing that's happened to me, is being on this journey. And to just see all the different things that happen. And yes, I think I operate on a very goal and carrot and stick, a very determined, very focused manner, which a lot of breatharians probably don't operate on that level. They're just like, okay, you know, but I don't function that way. And my way of functioning is like, okay, this is the goal, let's go. So it's different. So I mean, everyone's different. So that's my kind of way that I do it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. And I just want to add something for Val, because I'm a nomadic being and I'm extremely sensitive to environments. So we might have a chat, me and you privately, about places and how to survive by being a sensitive being and be in nature and not being affected by urban places. Yeah, just that. Thank you, Raki. Thank you. Love you.
See, this is so
looking
wonderful.
forward to see you in Italy.
Yes, I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. Yes. See, this is so beautiful about the Pranic family. You guys can help each other out. I mean, this is such a blessing. Thanks, Naida.
Thank you, Naida. So now it's Dee.
Okay, hi, Ragi. Just a quick question. You were talking about that muscle testing, right? I know what you mean. Have you seen the videos of David Hawkins?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Muscle testing. Like I was like so.
What is it called? Yeah, I forget, but I read his book.
I forgot the name. Not kinesiology, but some eology. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the name. I have it.
I forgot the.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember at that time I was Googling, okay, how do you learn this? Well, learning it online is not a good idea. I have to go somewhere and learn it. Did you learn it like professionally, or you went somewhere?
Well, there are people, when I went on the Pranic retreat, there are people that were actually very good at the muscle testing. So they'll say, okay, stand up like this and put your one arm up. And then, you know, if it's yes, you lean forward. If it's no, you lean back and all. I just could not trust myself because I don't know. I'm not good at it. I don't know, but I don't trust that. Sometimes I do, but sometimes it's like, nah, so I don't depend on it. But others I can ask them, okay, what do you, because they're so good at it. I'm like, okay, what do you, they can muscle test for me. I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, so they muscle test.
Yeah, different things. I recently did this, you know, controlled remote viewing.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of that? Yeah, I just joined that for that program, and I almost finished the phase 1, where you really can't see more, but you know, but when you move to phase 2 and 3, you really can see. You know, I was like, oh, I can sit here and see my kids in the daycare, what they're doing. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, if I'm like, I have this pranic clear body, I can let that. I can really flow through. Yeah.
You can share that with the family. I'm sure people will be amazed at this remote viewing that you're talking about.
Yeah, once I finish learning.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all. Thank you so much, Ragi.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It was so nice to have you, Raki.
Oh, thank you so much. Did I answer everyone's questions? Are there more questions?
So one last question from me then.
Yeah.
So you went through the first year and all these challenges, and you could have quit any day because it's really hard things, right? But still you kept going, and you've been keeping going, and you have done a lot of sacrifice, you could say, because going through hard things demand some kind of sacrifice, like from inside, right? Yeah. So I just want to ask you, like, not just was it worth it, but what was the most surprising thing that made it worth it without you thinking it from the beginning. Like, do you know what I mean? You've done all this hard work, but it's apparently worth it, because otherwise you would have quit. But what was the most surprising thing that, you know, the most surprising benefit you could maybe say that you just wasn't, you weren't counting on getting that at all?
So there's a couple of things. One thing is I wasn't spiritual at all. So getting me more into the spiritual thing, and that is like, wow, there's a whole different world out there. That's a whole spiritual world out there that I would never, I was just kind of shut off to. So I was like, oh, wow, there's this whole world out there. And another thing is that you just become, I don't know, life just becomes magical. Things just start happening. Because when you're on your soul's journey, it's almost like the universe is kind of taking care of you, and magic starts happening, you know, like all these synchronicities start happening, and things just start happening. And I don't know, you just feel lighter in this world. You know, you're not consuming as much. You as a being are lighter. You emotionally are lighter. Everything is lighter. You're just a lighter being on this planet, and you're not so heavy, bogged down with things. So I think the lightness is just priceless, to just be light. You don't have too many things that are just bogging you down. You just become lighter. And I think that's the joy in living, is to have this light free kind of way to live. And that's something that I didn't anticipate that I would become that way, but it has been that way. So that and spirituality combined, it's been amazing. So yeah, I didn't foresee all these things. So you can foresee, like, what do you mean lighter? I mean, maybe some of you are wondering, what the hell is she talking about being lighter? But as you continue on this path, you probably understand what I'm talking about, that you become lighter. Things don't bother you as much. It's just, you're just lighter, you're just easier. Everything's just a little bit easy. So
thank you.
I answered. Yeah. So yeah, any other questions?
I would have only one.
Hi.
Hi, this is Catherine from Germany. Hi,
Rocky. How are you?
Hi,
nice
thanks so much. So nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. Oh
yes. And I just want to say something which I have not get correctly, maybe. Do you do one dry fast day the week, or one water day?
Dry.
Dry. 1 day dry.
Yeah. So 24-hour dry fast, or dry feast, as we call it. I used to call it feasting. And now it's just like whatever. People understand more fasting, so I just say yeah, 24-hour dry fast, and 3.5 day dry, at least once a quarter.
And then you do the dry 3.5 day with Pranic family together every time, or is that not together? Is that not together?
No, I do it on my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody so much for coming and for all your questions. And I hope that in some way that that it's inspired you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, evening,
Thank you, Rocky.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you.